SpaceX's Flight 5 is moving faster than anyone anticipated, and NASA seems eager to see things pick up speed. After weeks of testing and integration at Starbase, we're finally seeing signs that the long-awaited launch could happen soon. NASA has also joined in on the excitement, confirming their own support for the mission. But that's not all. SpaceX has once again proven its versatility, receiving approval to deploy Starlink services in areas affected by Hurricane Milton, helping restore connectivity for those in need. And if that wasn't enough, Rocket Lab has secured NASA's Mars sample return contract, marking a major milestone in the mission to bring Martian soil back to Earth. The timeline for Flight 5 has been a whirlwind. SpaceX recently shocked everyone by announcing an October 13th launch, a date that many believed would be delayed into November due to FAA regulations. But SpaceX seems more confident than ever, with many suspecting that NASA has had a hand in expediting the process. While the FAA still plays a role, NASA's influence has been unmistakable. Lori Glaze, NASA's acting Deputy Associate Administrator, emphasized at an October 9th meeting how critical Flight 5 is for their Artemis missions. She mentioned that NASA is hopeful the launch will take place within the week, and that mastering the Starship's orbit and landing systems will be key for their human landing system. NASA is laser-focused on getting the Artemis 3 mission on track, with the Starship playing a crucial role in landing humans on the Moon. This means SpaceX needs to perfect their catch and reuse process using the Mechazilla arms during Flight 5. SpaceX has been working non-stop, preparing both the Super Heavy booster and the catching mechanism. As Bill Gerstenmaier, SpaceX's VP for Build and Flight Reliability, pointed out, they've already proven the accuracy of their landings in the ocean, making this next step toward catching the booster a realistic challenge. It's clear that SpaceX is putting everything on the line for this test. They've destacked the stages to install the flight termination system, a typical step before a major launch, signaling their readiness. And while the FAA's approval is still pending, SpaceX now has NASA backing them, making the likelihood of a successful launch much higher. This combination of factors is why the excitement is building for Flight 5. But SpaceX isn't just making waves with Flight 5. They've also stepped up to help those affected by Hurricane Milton, deploying Starlink satellites to provide emergency connectivity. This isn't the first time SpaceX has been called into action during a disaster. After Hurricane Helen, SpaceX enabled basic texting services for T-Mobile customers in North Carolina, and now they're doing the same for Florida. With over 100 Starlink satellites activated, those impacted by the hurricanes can now access emergency alerts and basic communication services, helping save lives during the storm. SpaceX's Starlink is proving itself as a critical tool in disaster response, with over 10,000 Starlink kits delivered to affected areas after Hurricane Helen, and more on the way for those affected by Milton. It's important to note how groundbreaking this is for disaster relief. While Starlink can't solve every problem, it's revolutionizing how we respond to emergencies, ensuring that communication lines stay open even in the worst conditions. SpaceX's quick response to these disasters shows that space technology can play a crucial role in supporting those on the ground when they need it most. Finally, we turn our attention to Rocket Lab, which has recently secured NASA's Mars sample return contract. This contract is a major step forward for Rocket Lab and NASA's mission to bring Martian samples back to Earth. With an estimated cost of $11 billion, NASA's original plan was both expensive and slow, with a timeline that stretched into the 2040s. But Rocket Lab's proposal could change all that. They've developed a new mission concept aimed at delivering Martian samples at a fraction of the cost and several years earlier than expected. Rocket Lab plans to use its upcoming Neutron rocket for the mission, launching 2 rockets approximately 2 weeks apart. One will carry an Earth return orbiter, while the other will deliver a lander equipped with a Mars ascent vehicle. The Perseverance rover will then transfer the samples into the MAV, which will launch them into Mars orbit, where they'll be collected by the orbiter and returned to Earth. Rocket Lab's proposal has the potential to cut billions off the cost and reduce the timeline by several years, showing just how far commercial space companies have come in contributing to planetary science. This isn't Rocket Lab's first foray into ambitious space missions, but it might be their most important. If successful, they'll be playing a key role in what could be one of the most significant scientific achievements of our time: bringing pieces of Mars back to Earth. And with the momentum they've built, they're positioning themselves as one of the most active companies in space, second only to SpaceX. So as we look forward to the next steps for both SpaceX and Rocket Lab, it's clear that the space industry is moving faster than ever. With NASA, SpaceX, and private companies like Rocket Lab pushing the boundaries, we're entering a new era of exploration. Be sure to stay tuned to Space Pioneers for more updates on these groundbreaking missions. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash subscribe for more jaw-dropping space updates, and join us as we embark on a cosmic journey like never before.